The sea was a churning cauldron of black waves and white froth. Thunder rumbled ominously in the distance as the wind howled through the rigging of the ship, the Wanderer. Captain Isabella Izzy Drake, a seasoned sailor with a fierce determination, stood at the helm, her dark hair whipping wildly around her face. "Hold steady, men!" she shouted over the roar of the storm. Her crew, a motley band of seasoned seafarers and eager young sailors, scrambled to secure the sails and keep the ship on course. Among them was young Thomas, barely 16 and on his first voyage. His hands trembled as he clung to a rope, eyes wide with fear. Beside him, old Samuel, the boatswain, placed a steadying hand on his shoulder. "Stay strong, lad," Samuel growled. "We've weathered worse." A massive wave crashed over the deck in icy seawater. It tilted dangerously, but Izzy held firm, her eyes fixed on the horizon. "Captain, we're taking on water," shouted Marco, the ship's carpenter from below deck. "Get the pumps working," Izzy commanded, "and make sure the cargo is secure." Thomas and Samuel rushed below deck to assist. The hold was already ankle-deep in water, and Thomas could feel the panic rising in his chest. Samuel's calm presence beside him was the only thing keeping him from losing his nerve entirely. As they worked the pumps, the ship was struck by another violent wave. The impact threw Thomas off balance, and he was sent sprawling into a stack of crates. One of the crates broke open, revealing its contents, a collection of strange, ancient artifacts they had been transporting to a museum in the New World. Samuel hauled him to his feet. "No time to gawk, lad. Keep pumping." Back on deck, Izzy could see a break in the clouds. "Hold on, everyone. We're almost through." But the storm had one last test for them. A
Hold on,
monstrous wave,
everyone.
larger than
We're
any
almost
before,
through.
rose up before the ship. Izzy's eyes widened. "Brace yourselves!" The wave crashed down with terrifying force, sweeping across the deck and knocking several crew members off their feet. Thomas, who had just emerged back on deck, was almost swept overboard. He clung desperately to the railing, his fingers slipping on the wet wood. Izzy saw him and, without a moment's hesitation, secured the helm and rushed to his aid. She grabbed his wrist just as he lost his grip and hauled him back onto the deck. "Thank you, Captain," Thomas gasped, shaking with fear and relief. "You're part of this crew, Thomas," she said firmly. "We look out for each other." As the storm finally began to abate, the crew worked tirelessly to repair the damage and ensure the ship stayed afloat. Exhausted but determined, they managed to stabilize the Wanderer and sail out of the storm's grasp. The sky cleared, revealing a calm, starry night. The sea, now gentle and serene, reflected the stars like a mirror. The crew, battered but unbroken, gathered on deck to catch their breath. Izzy looked around at her crew, pride swelling in her chest. "We did it," she said quietly. Samuel clapped Thomas on the back. "You did good, lad. Welcome to the life of a sailor." Thomas, still catching his breath, looked up at the sky and smiled. He had faced his fears and survived his first storm at sea. He knew there would be many more challenges ahead, but with Captain Izzy and the crew of the Wanderer by his side, he felt ready to face them all. As the ship sailed on through the night, the crew settled into a weary but contented silence, the adventure of the stormy night behind them and the promise of new horizons ahead.